Great, welcome everybody. So my feelings today are, I'm very much working with the theme of fire today. Like we live in this mountainous area that's very susceptible to forest fires, and we had the first big forest fire yesterday in the area, like not in our area, but we could see it in the distance. So tonight, straight after this class, I'm going to our kind of little community fire meeting to just check that we all know what to do if there's a fire. So it really fire's in my field of awareness. So I thought we'd work with the element of fire, which links us to Manipura chakra, the solar plexus chakra. Hi Nikki, welcome. And this is our seat of personal power. You know, this is connecting to our inner fire, our tapas, fiery determination, willpower, sense of self, kind of healthy connection to our ego. So I thought we'd explore that theme. So we will do a little bit of core work, because that really connects us to this area, some twists, but also this sense of how do we quench and cool the fire. It's very hot here in Portugal at the moment. So really also working with cooling and balancing fire energy when it gets a bit too inflamed. So this is our theme. So it will be helpful for you to have a block, probably. We'll probably work with core with a block. So just have, and if you haven't got a block, anything you can, anything firm with feedback that you can squeeze between the thighs. Okay. So when you're ready, come to lie. Actually, before we lie down, let's just start actually by arriving in a seated posture. I'm connecting to Manipura chakra. So just settle yourself, sit comfortably. Maybe close the eyes, and we can, or before you close the eyes, just have a little look. We can use a particular mudra here, Ganesha mudra. It links us to this Hindu deity, the elephant-faced god, which is all about clearing and moving obstacles out of the way. It's like a big elephant energy of clearing obstacles, but also that will strengthen elephants, so linking to our kind of inner strength. So for Ganesha mudra, we set the finger hook. We hook the fingers against each other. We try, so you just have that first kind of finger joint, or the first two finger joints bent, but everything else we try and keep straight. So you're trying to keep your wrist straight rather than the hands flexed as best you can, and the elbows in line with the wrist. So we're using this intelligence of alignment to create strength and stability here. And you pull, you kind of gently pull against, each hand's pulling against the other one. So we're kind of using effort, but we want to find that balance between effort and ease. So we're not like, not straining our neck, straining our face, frowning, but we feel there's some kind of work going on, and we start to feel it in the arms and the shoulders. So we start to connect to this inner tapas, this quality of tapas, which is fiery determination. When we start to fatigue, keeping the arms elevated like this, and we draw upon our inner reserves of fire. So you may or may not be feeling this, but just we're going to hold for maybe another 10 breaths. Okay, so if you need to let go, do, but if possible, just keep pulling gently so that we feel the effort, drawing on your inner reserves, and we'll just take 10 slow, deep, conscious breaths. So when you're ready, just starting to count from yourself, deep breaths in. I'm going to count, and when I get to 10, we'll stop. So we're using this to draw upon our fiery reserve, and also start to connect to Ujjayi breath. Deep, conscious breath, drawing it up from deep within the body. I'm on 3. So that we start to draw upon our inner fire through the breath as well. Breath of fire, detoxifying Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. About halfway to my count. Keep going if you can. Shoulders probably fatiguing now. Relax the face. Intelligent use of effort. Effort and ease in balance. To my count, we've got 2 more full breaths left. Don't worry if you've done more than 10. Well done. We've all done the same amount of time. And 1 more deep breath. And then gently release. Just feel the kind of burning, buzzing feeling in the arms where they've efforted. Just relax, let the arms relax. And we'll just go into breath of fire. Again, an energizing fire, stimulating breath, and we're going to cool it down later in the class. So we'll do Kapalabhati. So my mudra for Kapalabhati is tucking, the one I like to use is tucking the first fingernail into the base of the thumb and extending the other 3 fingers, resting the hands on the legs. I think you all know Kapalabhati. It's the pumping of the lower belly that pushes the air out through the nostril, and the exhale and the inhale takes care of itself. Okay, so just when you're ready, we'll just do a couple of rounds. Take it at any pace you wish, just match me or your own pace. And relax the shoulders. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed throughout, just moving the belly. I think I saw, did you go and get a tissue, Nikki? Yeah, but always forget to say if anybody's got a blocked nose or a bit sniffly, you probably want to blow your nose before Kapalabhati, but you'll soon realise that. Okay, so in between, we're just relaxing the belly, we're noticing the effects of the practice, knowing that this stimulates that inner fire, and also clears the mind. So we'll go for one more round. If you're feeling lightheaded, just stay with slow, deep, conscious breaths. Otherwise, off we go for another between 30 seconds and a minute. Now relax. I'm sure you're feeling that in the belly. So really just let the belly muscles relax completely. Belly breathe, relax the shoulders and the jaw. Take the inner gaze towards the third eye area, space between the eyebrows. Still, if you can, through the practice, work with Ujjayi breath, if you know it, that audible quality by constricting the muscles in the back of the throat as we breathe in and out through the nose. If you don't know Ujjayi, no problem, just breathe in and out through the nose. And then just to work with really opening Manipura, bring the hands behind you, fingertips point forward or back, and then arch the spine and lift the chest. Remembering Manipura is like the solar plexus, and it means sun panel, and it's linked to the color yellow, like the top I'm wearing today, which actually is a coincidence. Maybe it's not subconsciously. And so feel this kind of yellow sun energy radiating from your solar plexus, both radiating your inner power, your sense of self, your individuality in the world, and also a space, a place within you to receive solar, sun energy, fire energy from the sun. So just breathe into Manipura, one more breath. We will do a little bit of front opening as well today, and then bring yourself back up to vertical. And when you're ready, come down onto your back and have your block handy. So just coming to lie down and just bend the knees, just have the feet on the floor, and just let the back relax into the mat for a moment, the shoulder blades, the back of the head, and just when we're not working the core this evening, just really relax the belly. So we always want to find that balance between switching on muscles, but also when we're not using them, to just let them relax. So just before we engage them, just start by just belly breathing, relaxing after Kapalabhati. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the block, we're going to lift the feet off the floor with the knees bent and slide the block between the thighs and flex the feet. So the sense of efforting in the legs now, squeezing the block between the thighs. take your arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down, or cactus arms, elbows in line with the shoulders, palms up in this kind of right angle position, like this on the floor. Okay, so we're squeezing the block. We're going to work with the breath movement synchrony. So even before we move, if we're actively squeezing the block, we're switching on the adductors, which means we're switching on the deep transverse abdominals. So you might feel that deep in the belly, below the navel, this sense of deep muscles switching on. We're really going to work with this area today, seat of Uddiyana Bandha, actually, the flying up block. Okay, so we're going to inhale at the center, keep squeezing the block as you exhale the knees over to the right, keeping the left shoulder on the floor. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, take the knees over to the left, keep the right shoulder blade on the floor. Keep squeezing the block, try not to let the work in the legs go, and just keep that going side to side. So there's a lot to think about here. Primarily, we're squeezing the block, that's our primary focus. Our second focus is breath movement synchrony. And our third focus is as we take the knees one way, we try to keep the opposite shoulder blade back on the wall, on the floor, sorry. Okay, so try to keep all of this in your awareness. This is what makes it yoga, not just kind of zoning out and going through the motions. Keep the feet flexed. Are you squeezing the block? Are you inhaling to the center, exhaling to the side? Okay, keep that going. If you're finding it quite easy, you could have a go at doing it with straight legs. Much harder to keep the opposite shoulder on the floor. You might not be able to go as far because we want to use our deep core muscles to bring us back to the center, not momentum. So as soon as we find ourselves kind of flinging our limbs around without this deep core integrity, extreme close up with my feet there, then we've lost, that mindfulness practice, that real sense of yoga, really keeping integrity, structural integrity. Okay. Next time you come back to the center, you can bend the knees if you straighten them and just bring the knees over to the right again, and you can keep the block between the thighs, or if it's uncomfortable, move it, but it can be nice to just feel that speed back between the thighs. We're just going to stay in the twist, in the cross twist here. You can look over your left shoulder, you could rest your right hand on the left thigh and just take some breaths. So again, we've come out of the effort, so you can just really relax the belly here and just breathe into the belly. So we're gonna kind of struggling with words this evening. Well, move between this kind of strong, focused, dynamic Ujjayi breath when we're working the core, and when we're relaxing the core, it's like a deep belly breath, like diaphragmatic, stretching the belly breath. Very different breaths, because in the Ujjayi breath we stabilize the lower belly and breathing by using the bandhas and breathing the thoracic area. So in between, just relax the belly. Okay, now find your core again. Draw the lower belly back towards the spine. Maybe lift on the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha or Uddiyana Bandha. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale, let the knees come over to the left. You've either still got the block between the thighs or you've removed it. It's up to you. Look over your right shoulder. Maybe rest left hand on right thigh. Relax the belly and breathe into the belly. So some of you are going to love tonight's class, some of you are going to really hate it because it's core, but we'll try and do it in a very kind of intelligent way, using the muscles intelligently. Okay, so again, find your deep core, find Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the lower belly back to the spine, lift up on the pelvic floor, then bring the knees back to the center and release the block. And we're going to stay on our back, do one more core exercise here. So we're going to cross the left thigh on top of the right. And some of you, we're warming up, so it might not be possible. You might just easily tuck the left foot behind the right calf, the Garudasana, eagle legs. Otherwise, you're just crossing the thighs. And then we're going to take the hands up towards the ceiling and cross the right arm in front of the left. And again, if it's easy for you, Garudasana arms. So you could have Garudasana legs and arms, or you're just crossing the thighs and you're just letting the hands drop to meet the opposite shoulder. Okay, so from here, we're going to inhale with the head on the floor, the feet are off the floor. And as we exhale, we're squeezing the head up to meet the knees. Inhaling, coming down. Exhaling, squeezing up. So you're possibly in Garudasana. If you're in Garudasana, as you Sorry, as you inhale, you can take the feet down to the floor to touch the floor. So exhale, squeeze everything together. Inhale, release. Maybe touch the feet to the floor if you're an eagle. Exhale, we squeeze. Inhale, release. 3 more. Exhale, squeeze it up. Work with your breath. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Eagle sit-ups. Interesting. Last one. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Unravel your arms and legs. And of course, we've got to go to the other side for balance. So we're going to cross the right thigh on top of the left. Maybe if it's available, hook the right foot underneath the left calf. We're going to bring the left arm in front of the right now. Hold on to the opposite shoulder or wrap for Garudasana. And then we inhale. If you're in Garudasana, your fingertips and toes can touch down on the inhale. Definitely head on the floor, everybody. And then exhale, squeeze elbows to knees together. Inhale, lie down. Exhale, squeeze. 3 more. So slow, mindful movements, quality, not quantity. Exhale to squeeze. 2 more. Inhale, lie down, head on the floor. Exhale, squeeze it up. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. And release, unravel. Well done. Just take the hands onto the belly, feet on the floor. Maybe inner knees touch. Just again, take 2 or 3 deep belly breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to just roll to the side. We're going to come to tabletop, continue working with this theme. Don't forget, we're going to cool the fire towards the end of the class. So just have that in mind if it all gets a bit tiresome for you. Okay, so tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under the chest. Let's just do cat-cow first and really enjoy that cow as we lift hips, drop belly, because it's going to stretch the front of the tummy that we've been working. So just do a few rounds of cat-cow here. Really enjoying that opening into the cow, but also maximize the cat as well, where we really contract that front body again. And then come to neutral at the end of your next exhale. And from here, we're going to stretch the right leg out behind us, really lifting the deep transverse abdominals up and stretch the left hand forward. So diagonal stretch from right heel to left fingertips, lifting front body up. We're going to inhale here and exhale again, squeeze elbow to knee underneath you. Inhale, open up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open with your breath. Follow your breath. Exhale brings you together. Inhale opens up. At the end of 3, bring everything down. Bring your right knee down and bring your right foot off the edge of the mat to the right. And take your left foot to the end of the mat and bring the left hand up and over. Just find that side body stretch down the left side for a moment. That's it. Yeah, I know it's a bit complicated instructions. And then lift your left leg up so it's in line with the left hip and the toes point forward, and take the left hand up towards the ceiling. And again, we're going to inhale here, exhale, squeeze. This time left elbow to knee together in front of you, and inhale, open. We're working with the obliques now, the side waist muscles. So 3 times again. The inhale opens, the exhale squeezes. So breath, movement, synchrony. Only 3. Bring yourself down between sides. Mini cat child's pose, just to stretch the wrists, because I know it can load the wrists. Dropping the head. Just a couple of breaths here, 2 or 3 breaths. And then bring yourself up to the other side. Tabletop. So we start by just lifting that front body up, connecting to the pelvic floor. Stretch right leg out behind you, left leg reaches forward. Feel that diagonal stretch from right heel to left fingertips. Keep lifting the front body up towards the spine. Inhale at full stretch. Exhale, elbow and knee together underneath you. Inhale to open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. And then bring everything down. And then this time your left knee pivots and you take your left foot off to the side, just off the mat, the edge of the mat. Right foot to the end of the mat. So we're sideways on, facing the long edge of the mat. Right hand comes up and over. Find the side stretch first. Enjoy the stretching elements of the class. Make the most of them with deep breaths. And then we're going to lift the right leg up in line with the hip and take the right hand all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale here, exhale, squeeze elbow and knee together in front of you. Inhale, open up. Exhale, squeeze. Working with the obliques and the hip muscle here 3 times. And then bring everything back down. And again, just take that little child's pose, coming up onto the fingertips, lifting the wrists, if that feels good. Decompress the wrists. And then from here, we're going to come up to tabletop, to downward dog. So coming up to tabletop, hands slightly in front of the shoulders, lift the hips, find your downward dog. And just establish that downward dog. Connect to your core. Feel that hollowing out of the lower belly, the lifting and then connecting to the pelvic floor. This is a real theme for this evening. And then we're going to do very similar to what we just did. If it gets too much on the wrist, just skip, take child's pose and join afterwards. But otherwise, from downward dog, we're going to inhale, raise the right leg. And exhale, come forward so the shoulders are above the wrist and drop the head. So nose meets knee underneath you. And inhale, stretch and take that leg back up. 3-legged dog 3 times. Exhale, nose to knee, shoulders over the wrist. Inhale, stretch the heel up. Last time. Exhale, nose to the knee. Inhale, stretch it up. This time, exhale, bring the knee forward, but see if you can touch the back of the upper right arm. So above the elbow, lift that right foot as high as possible. Push through the hands, strong in the back leg, and then step it back downward dog. Just take a breath here or 2. I know for some of you, this is going to be tough on the wrist. Skip it if you need. Otherwise, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, shoulders over the wrist, drop the head, knee to nose. Inhale, extend, 3-legged dog, up and back. Exhale, shoulders forward above the wrist, knee to nose beneath you. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, knee to nose. Last time, inhale, stretch it up. And this time, as you come forward, shoulders over the wrist. See if you can bring that left knee to touch the back of the left arm, if possible above the elbow, and lift the left foot as high as possible. Hold for another breath, pushing the floor away. And then back to downward dog. And either downward dog, or I know for some of you that's going to really challenge the wrist. So again, just take that wrist decompressor, child's pose. Great. And then from here, we're going to come up to a forward fold from downward dog. So just come back to downward dog just as a transition and look forward and step the feet forward to the hands. And just let yourself hang over your legs and just really relax the wrists here. So you might hold the opposite elbow, but you might just want to dangle the arms and just really let the wrists kind of release, however feels more comfortable. If you're very open, you could even take the backs, tops of the hands to the floor, palms up to stretch the wrists the other way. Just take a few more slow, deep breaths here. Great, and then bring the hands to the hips, press yourself up. And just before we go into a bit of a flow, I'd like us to have a go at Uddiyana Bandha. So we talked about bandhas a bit already. I'm actually wearing the worst top for a lot of the things we're doing today because it doesn't show it clear. So I'll just kind of lift my top up so you can see. So with Uddiyana Bandha, I'm going to have to explain it because I can't talk when I do it. So I'm going to explain it, then demonstrate it, and then we'll do it together. If you already know the practice, just go in and do a few rounds. Okay, so our stance is we've got the feet a bit wider than hip distance apart, and we're planting the hands firmly on the front of the thighs, and we want at the tops of the thighs, and we want to keep the arms straight. That's really important. The arms stay straight. So there's almost like a bit of a back bend going on. And then we're going to breathe out and let the belly just hang and sag, just let it go. And then we don't breathe in. Before we breathe in, at the end of the exhale, we suck the lower belly up. So it sucks up, it kind of hollows out. You'll see it in a minute when I show you. And it's suctioning the diaphragm up and creating this kind of vacuum. You'll feel it in the throat if you get it. And we hold for as long as we can. So remember, we're on a breath hold. When you can't hold anymore, you let the belly go, and hopefully an inhale will rush into you. That's the way it should work. Then we exhale, take a resting breath, and do it again. Okay, we'll do a few rounds. So I'm just going to demo. If you're already going, that's fine. But if you want the demo, a bit closer. Okay, so exhale. I'm going to let everything out now. I have to stop talking. Breathing in, breathing out. So I hope you saw that. It's like a hollowing out, sucking in. So just have a go. It took me a long time to connect with these muscles. So I'll kind of talk as you go. You're going to exhale, just let the belly sag, keep the arms straight, and then don't breathe in, just suck everything up towards the spine and hold, keep the arms straight. If you can also connect to Mula Bandha, great. When you need to breathe in, just let the belly go, take a big breath in again, breathe out fully, and then just make sure you take at least one full resting breath between rounds. And we'll do maybe 3 rounds. I'm going to give you one more variation on the 3rd round. So have another go. If anyone's not sure, got any questions, needs clarifications, just let me know. And when you finish the round you're on, just pause and have a little look. So I'm going to invite you to do, if you're just still working with that, great. But if you're feeling quite comfortable and you want to do something else, we're working towards, eventually we can connect to the right and left deep transverse abdominals, and eventually we can do this Nowli churning. So we're going to move towards that. So the thing to do is, once you're in Uddiyana Bandha, once you've got it all sucked up, something else you can do is just explore what it's like to press on the right side and then the left side, and hopefully you'll start to feel this side of the muscles working and then this, and you can actually, I don't know whether I can demonstrate, but you can actually start to see the muscles working. So, but it starts with this kind of almost lean and press through the hands. So again, I'll try and demonstrate. So I don't know whether you saw anything there, but you're just pressing, and that will to some extent start to engage left and right. Okay, so just have a go. If you know Nowli, or if you're, just have a go at the churning, that's where we start to circle and really massaging the internal organs. This is like the first step towards Nowli. And if you're not able to make any connection with left and right, this is entirely normal. It's probably taken me years and years and years. So, just start the process by having a go. Don't judge yourself if you can't. These are deep muscles in the body that take time to connect to. And when you are done, just relax, and we'll go into a flow now. But just good sometimes to just practice these things. I need to, sorry, I'm going to make a noise as I take the chair back a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's use this awareness, go into a flow, a bit of twisting, a little bit more core. Okay, so starting at the front of the mat in Tadasana. Connect your breath. Your breath might be a little bit out of kilter after that Uddiyana Bandha, so just regulating the breath for a moment. Deepening the breath. And then with your next inhale, using it to raise the hands, maybe a slight back bend, expose Manipura forward. Exhale, forward fold, look the head. Inhale, we look up and lengthen. Exhale, step or jump maybe back today. So the plank, and we're going to just pause in the plank. So if your wrists are sore or if it's too much, bring the knees down or come onto the elbows. But otherwise, we're going to take a couple more breaths here. It's going to linger in the plank, lifting the front body up, lifting on your pelvic floor. One more breath. And then as you exhale, knees off the floor, lower yourself down, either Ashtangasana or Chaturanga, and inhale. Come to a back bend of your choice. It could be a baby cobra or an upward dog. And again, we're just going to pause here for a couple of breaths because we're exposing our solar panel. We're opening our Manipura chakra forward. So just a couple of breaths here, just pausing in the salutation. And then exhale back to downward dog. Taking a couple of breaths. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward and step the right foot between the hands and lower the left knee down. Inhale, raise the hands, Anjaneyasana. Again, we're opening Manipura. Breathe from your solar plexus. And we're going to really focus on twists today. So as you exhale, take left hand or left elbow to the outside of right knee and look over your right shoulder. The inhale, return to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, take the hands down, plant the hands, tuck the back toe under, your choice. Downward dog, child's pose, or another vinyasa. This time we'll just flow one breath, one movement. Returning to downward dog or tabletop. The end of the exhale, look forward. Step the left foot between the hands, release the right knee to the floor, and inhale, raise the hands. Really feel this as opening the front body. Feel this kind of sun energy radiating from your Manipura chakra, both radiating and receiving this fire sun energy. And then exhale into the twist. Elbow or thigh, right elbow or right hand to the outside of left knee. Looking over the left shoulder. Breathe as deeply as you can in the twist. Great. And then inhale, taking your hands up. Exhale, release the hands, tuck the back toe under. And again, your choice, downward dog, child's pose, or another vinyasa. So again, if you're really wanting to work with the fire energy, just keep flowing. Take your opportunity for every vinyasa. If you're more working to cool your fire energy, skip them, take child's pose. Back to downward dog or tabletop, couple of breaths here. And then at the end of the exhale, look forward, walk, step, or maybe a little fiery jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, drop the head. Raise the hands as you inhale. Maybe hips forward, hands back. Exhale, hands to the side. Straight into the next one. Inhale, take maybe a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back. And again, you can pause in the plank, So pause in plank for about 3 breaths, lifting that front body up, pushing the floor away actively with the hands, strong legs. Don't forget to breathe. One more breath. Exhale, lower down, knees on or off the floor, and inhale up to an elongated back bend. So again, about 3 or so breaths here. You can be an upward dog, cobra, sphinx, whatever feels good, but opening that Manipura chest forward. Exhale, back to downward dog. Relax the neck, couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, at the end of your exhale, look forward and step the right foot forward. So again, you can come via tabletop if you need. On the ball of the back foot and inhale up to high lunge. So similar kind of feeling here. We're opening that front body, stretching the hands up, breathing to and from our solar plexus, filling ourselves with sun energy and radiating that energy. And then again, exhale into the twist. So left hand to the outside of the thigh, reach right hand back, or left elbow, palms together, look back. Strong in the back leg. Great, and then inhale, raise the hands all the way back up to a high lunge. Exhale, take the hands down, and your choice, child's pose, downward dog, or a vinyasa, but just one breath, one movement now. Really shine the chest forward in the upward dog though, or the back bend. Returning to tabletop or downward dog for a breath between sides. The end of the exhale, look forward, bring or step the left foot forward between the hands, stay on the ball of the right foot. Inhale, raise the hands, high lunge. So we're strong in that back leg. We're firming and toning the right glute to right buttock. And we're shining our Manipura chakra open to the front. Strong, big Ujjayi breaths. Exhale into the twist. Right elbow or right hand to that outer left thigh. Looking over the left shoulder, strong in that back leg. Breathe as deeply as you can in the twist. Great. Inhale, taking it up. Exhale, release the hands. And again, your choice, vinyasa or child's pose, downward dog. But we're going to meet in either downward dog, child's pose, or tabletop for about 3 breaths here. Using this as a momentary cooling point. So use child's pose if you need to cool the energy. Just a little pause because we're flowing quite dynamically. And then at the end of the exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up, exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, hands to the side. Just pause for a moment. We're going to do one more flow and then start the cooling process a little bit. Okay, so inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back to the plank, and we're going to stay again for our few breaths here. Come onto the elbows or bring the knees down if you need, but we're pushing the floor away. The legs are strong, the belly's lifting up to the spine, and we're breathing fully. We're strong, we're finding our inner fire. And then exhale, lower down, knees are off the floor. Inhale, find your chosen back bend and shine that Manipura forward for about 3 breaths here. Shoulders back, chest forward. And then exhale back to downward dog. Or child's pose, tabletop, whatever you need. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, raise the right leg. We're going to exhale, bring the knee to the nose underneath you again, like we did before, so the shoulders are over the wrists. And then step the right foot down between and spin the back foot. We're going to come up to warrior 2. Nice deep bend on the right leg, looking over the right leg. Deep breaths, finding that tapas, that inner strength, as we now lunge into the thighs for the warriors. And then bring right elbow onto right thigh, left arm up and over, or right hand to the floor, left arm up and over. Breathe deep. Now from here, bring the left hand down as well and just frame your right foot. So got both hands either side of the front foot. And step your right foot back, so it's about halfway between your left hand and your left foot, and this is going to be like your stabilizer. We're going to have a go at the side plank. So from here, again, you can be on the elbows if it's too much for the wrists. We're going to lift up, modify side plank, and then we're going to bring the right foot back. If you want the full side plank, we stack left foot on top of right foot. If we still need that stabilizer, just swap the legs and bring the left foot in front now. So left foot's halfway between hands and feet if you need the stabilizer. Otherwise, left foot stacked on top of right foot, and we're in Vashisthasana. This is really strong for the obliques. And then to come down, bring the left hand down, come back to downward dog or child's pose or a vinyasa between sides. This is our last strong flow. Returning to downward dog or tabletop for a breath. And I actually came into that not the way I meant to then, I kind of went with it, but I'll try and get us into side plank a little bit more intuitively this side if I can. But if not, kind of worked, didn't it? Okay, so from here we're going to inhale, raise the left foot up. Exhale, bring your shoulders over the wrist, drop the head, nose to knee. Find that connection for a moment, and then step the left foot between the hands or spin the back foot. Toes in front of the heel, and inhale your way up to warrior 2 on the other side. So we've got left leg forward, nice deep bend on the left leg, looking forward over the left middle finger. Find that inner strength. Get through the strong flow. Try not to move the legs. As you exhale into Parsvakonasana, left elbow to thigh, left hand to the floor, right hand up and over. Okay, now let's see if I can do this a bit less clumsily. We're going to bring the hands down either side of the front foot. And actually, we're just going to step back to downward dog this time. And then we're going to step the right foot. Do I mean that? Yes, the right foot forward. So it's about halfway between your hands and feet. And we come onto the little toe edge of the back foot, the left foot. Okay, so this can be your halfway house to Vashisthasana, and then we take the right hand up. So we're in this, we've got this stabilizer of the right leg forward if we need it, or we stack the right leg on top of the left, or right foot on top of the left foot. And lift the hips away from the floor, push the hand or elbow away from the floor, draw the belly in, elongate the tailbone. Great, to come out, bring the right hand down, and then come to child's pose, downward dog, tabletop, or our final vinyasa here. Well, I'm reluctant to say final, but one of our final vinyasas. Coming back to downward dog or child's pose. Just take about 3 breaths here. And then at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step, jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, drop the head. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands, switch back then maybe. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Well done. Just take a well-earned, just a little pause here. Check the time. Okay, so we are going to start the cool down momentarily, but we're kind of peaking right now. And I'd like us to do a balance, and I'd like us to do one balance into another balance. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we have a twist. Okay, so I'll quickly show you on one side and then we'll do it together. So we're going to start just bringing the heel to the buttock, and then we're going to come, so you can just stay there, heel to buttock, or we're going to come into the dancer's pose, because this is really shining the Manipura forward. And then we're going to see if we can transition to bringing that same leg forward straight into a twist. So this could either be hand to the knee or hand to the little toe of the foot. If we feel stable, we might even start to look behind us. Okay, so now we get the Manipura opening followed by the twist. So both ways of stimulating this energy within us. Okay, so let's balance on the left leg first. Okay, so tune into your left foot, left leg. And when you're ready, just pick up the right foot, the top of the foot, and squeeze the heel towards the buttock, lowering the right knee so it's next to the left knee as close as possible. So you could just stay here, or we release the left hand and take it up in line with the ear. We just spin the back hand so the top of the right foot's resting on the palm of the hand, holding the big toe edge, and we start to push the right foot into the hand to draw the right shoulder back, trying to keep the chest and hips square to the front as best we can, and maybe taking the weight forward or the torso forward as we lift the foot up behind us. But try to keep the left upper arm next to the ear. Try not to let it drop forward. And then we're going to come back the way we came, through the heel to the buttock. Release the leg forward now, and either just keep the knee bent, take the left hand to the outside of the right knee and reach the right hand back, or we straighten the right leg and reach for the little toe edge. Maybe try the toe, but we keep the knee bent. And then really feel like you're twisting from your navel here while squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. And if you feel stable, explore taking the gaze towards the back hand. I love this posture. And then come back to the front. I'm going to add a final sting to the tail. Bring the hands to the hips. Keep extending the right foot forward and lift that foot high for 3, 2, try not to lean backwards, and 1, release. Sorry about adding that, that sting, but it felt appropriate. Okay, and onto the other side, so you know what's coming now. Tune into your right foot, your right leg, feel that strong. Pick up the left foot, squeeze the heel to the buttock with both hands, holding the top of the foot, and see if you can drop the left knee next to the right knee to really open up the front of that hip and thigh. Either stay there or release the right hand, take it up in line with the ear. We're going to try and keep it next to the ear, spin the back hand so the top of the foot's resting on the palm, you're holding the big toe edge. Push the left foot into the hand, feel that, draw the left shoulder back, but keep the chest and the hips square to the front as best you can. Keep working the thigh to keep the heel moving away from the buttock as you lean forward slightly, maybe. And cheating. And then coming out the way you went in, back to the vertical, heel to buttock, and then try not to put that left foot down, just bring it forward. Right hand to the outside of left knee, left hand reaches back, or we might bend, we might reach the little toe edge and either keep the leg bent or straighten it. Squeeze the inner thighs together, connect to your bandhas, maybe look behind you if you feel stable. Breathe deep. And then come to face the front, keep that left leg lifting as you bring the hands to the hips. Lift the left foot as high as possible, point the toe for 3. Try not to lean back, 2. And 1, lower. Well done. You need to ease the ankles out. Okay, so I reckon that was our peak. Let's cool the fire. So we'll go into an inversion, but we'll still work with twists. and opening Manipura. So come to face the long edge of your mat with a nice wide stance with the toes pointing forward. If you know your hamstrings are tight, bring your block in front of you. Bring the hands to the hips. Now inhale, lift the chest, open Manipura, shoulders back, look up. Exhale, forward fold. So we just find the cooling properties of the inversion for a moment, release the hands to the floor, drop the head, and just let the breath start to maybe slow down after that dynamic flow and balancing, so re-regulating the breath. You could return to Ujjayi breath if you come out of it, and breathing through the nose. And then we're going to twist from here. So at the end of your exhale, press through the hands and straighten the arms and walk the hands forward and bring your right hand directly underneath the face. And this is where you might want to use a block on any of its three heights. And then we're just going to twist to the left. You can either keep the left hand on the back, or if it feels okay, stretch it up. So don't worry too much about what the hips are doing today. Just focusing on twisting like you're wringing out the spine like a funnel and breathing. It's nice to use the block, even if you really need it, just to feel that extra space so that you can really enjoy full, free breaths in a twist. And then exhale to release the left hand and swap sides. So bring the left hand underneath the face. And inhale, twist to the right, right hand on the lower back, or stretching up towards the ceiling. And we're pressing down through the left hand to reach up through right fingertips here. Drawing the navel in, connecting to your pelvic floor. So we want to try to keep connecting to Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor of the perineum, Uddiyana Bandha, those deep transverse abdominals that we explored earlier. Drawing in, holding out the belly. Exhale, release the right hand down, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. And just exhale, pause for a moment, just let the blood flow the opposite way. And turn the toes out. I said we peaked. We have peaked. We're just doing another little mini peak. We're going to just sink the hips. So just have the hands on the thighs and sink the hips. So the toes are pointing out, the knees are tracking with the ankles. Lift on your pelvic floor. And we'll just work with moving energy here. So just bring your hands to your heart center or to Manipura. This is our seat of power. We're going to inhale, holding this kind of power. And as we exhale, we push up like there's something closing down on us. And we inhale, bring it back to Manipura. Exhale, push out to the side like there's two walls closing in on us that we're pushing away. Inhale, draw the energy back to our energy center. Exhale, push down, resist your own effort. Inhale, bring it up to Manipura. Exhale, push forward. So you're resisting effort. We'll do that one more time. Inhale to the center. Exhale, push up. Resist. Inhale, energy back to Manipura. Exhale, push out to the sides. Resist your effort. Inhale, bring it into Manipura. Exhale, push down. Last one. Inhale, bring it up to Manipura. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, bring it into Manipura. Exhale, just press it into Manipura. And then we inhale, straighten the legs, come up. Exhale, walk or jump, feet together. Okay, so we'll come down to our bellies. So just lying down if you wish, or we can just do one more little flow to get there. So we're going to inhale, raise the hands, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, plank. Just pause in plank, couple of breaths, another mini peak. And then see if from here you can come down onto your elbows one at a time and come onto forearm plank. Couple of breaths here. Push through the elbows, the forearms. And then exhale into the Sphinx. So lower the hips down, maybe take the feet back a little bit. So the shoulders are underneath, are above the elbows, and we draw the shoulders back and we shine that solar plexus forward. Again, just maybe if you're a visual person, be a lovely visualization to just imagine the sun shining out of the front of our body, radiating our inner essence, our sunny essence, and also this receiver, this solar panel receiving fire, sun energy, firing us up, charging us up, giving and receiving. Relax the buttocks, breathe fully. You can feel like you're breathing in and out of your solar plexus. And just exhale, lower down for a moment. Just take a relaxing few breaths here with the forehead on the back of the hands. And then we're going to just repeat. We're going to do one more prone back bend. And so you can repeat the Sphinx. You could maybe press through the hands and come higher. But if you feel prepped for it and you want to go into a deeper back bend, you could come into Dhanurasana, the bow at this point, where we bring a bit like Natarajasana, but both heels into the buttocks. And like Natarajasana, the bit starts with the feet. We press the ankles back so the heels lift away from the buttocks, and that draws the shoulders back. We try to keep the knees and the feet close towards each other, maybe even touching the feet, and breathe as fully as you can. This is an invitation and option. Otherwise, if you do not feel up for that or prepped for that, you're in Sphinx or slightly higher. Okay, so take about 5 or so slow deep breaths in your chosen posture, breathing fully. The quality of the breath is important. And then when you're ready to come down, just lower yourself down and either forehead on the back of the hands or hands to the side, turning a cheek to the side. Either way, we just relax. And those of you who turned a cheek to the floor, just for the next few breaths, turn the other cheek to the floor. So we stretch both sides of the neck. Really just letting go of effort here. We're finding that balance between effort and ease through the class, and make the most and just totally release and relax in between effort. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to just come back to a child's pose. So hands underneath the shoulders, lift yourself up, slide the hips back, and you can choose knees together or knees wide, big toes touching. And just take some nice slow deep breaths in child's pose with the hands stretched forward, hips stretching back, traction in the spine. And then slowly walk the hands in. Bring the knees together, drop the hips to the side, bring the legs forward. So we'll do a few seated twisting, and then maybe time. Let's see. Okay, so have your left leg outstretched and bring your right foot to the outside of the left knee. If that's not available, no problem, keep it on the inside. Your right hand's behind you as your prop. We inhale, stretch up through the left, and exhale, twist from the navel. And either bring right knee into the crook of the elbow or press the elbow to the outside of the right knee, palm forward. Or some of you might find that little bind where you can feed the left hand underneath the right thigh and find the right fingertips or maybe even the wrist, and maybe hold right thigh with right fingertips. Looking over the right shoulder, don't force it. Lifting up through the spine. Keep aware of that left leg, toes to the ceiling. So when we twist, we internally massage and stimulate and invigorate our digestive organs, which are all kind of squidged into this small area. So super good for our digestive system to twist. And this is also the seat of our agni, our thigh, our tapas, our kind of digestive region, the belly. And then at the end of your exhale, just untwist, come back to face forward. And you can just take that gentle open twist the other way, just in your own time, just draping the right elbow on the right knee, taking the left hand back and feeling that spaciousness in the front of the chest, keeping active and aware in both feet, both legs, and pressing through right big toe, pressing out through left heel. And then unwind, come back to the center. Swap the right foot, so the sole of the right foot's to the inner left thigh for Janu Shirshasana. And we'll just take a twist again. So we'll take the closed twist, which is to the left this time. So you take the right hand to the outside of the left leg or little toe edge, left hand behind you, or all the way around to find your bent right thigh. looking over the left shoulder. One more breath. And then exhale to release. Bring the right hand behind you, about 20 centimeters behind you in the middle of the mat, fingertips point back. We're just going to open that Manipura. So we lean into the right hand, press through the hand, the left heel and the right shin, and lift the hips up, stretch the left hand back and shine your Manipura up towards the ceiling for a couple of big breaths here. And then exhale, slowly lower, pressing through the right hand for control to bring the hips down, unwind to face the front again. And we'll just do that sequence on the other side. So when you're ready, bring the right foot forward. And we're going to step the left foot to the outside of the right knee. And press through the right heel, press through the left big toe, left hand behind you. Inhale, stretch up through the right side. Exhale, twist from the base of the spine to either hug the knee or press the outer knee with the elbow, or again, possibly feed that right hand underneath the left thigh. If it works for you, you have to be deep enough into the twist for it to mechanically work. Don't injure your shoulder by trying it too soon. Keep aware of the right leg, toes up. Keep pressing the sole of the left foot down, especially the big toe pad. And lift up through the spine. And then at the end of your exhale, unwind, come back through the center, maybe take a big breath in at the center and exhale into the open twist, just kind of draping the left elbow on the left thigh, opening to the right, right hand behind you. Should be nice and free in the breath this side, hopefully, compared to the other. So again, make the most of that. And then unwind back to the center. Bring the left foot to the inner right thigh, so with the left foot, knee out to the side. And we'll take the closed twist version of Jani Shirshasana. So left hand again to the outside of the right thigh, shin, or little toe, edge of the foot. Right hand behind you, or all the way around to find the left thigh and look over your right shoulder. Take as deep breaths as you can. It's always a bit trickier the closed side to breathe fully, but just breathe as fully as you can here. And then at the end of your exhale, turn to face the front, unwind. Bring the left hand behind you in the center of the mat, fingers pointing backwards, and we lean into the left hand, press through the right heel, lift it up, stretch the right hand back, and have a sense of opening Manipura up towards the ceiling, or forwards and up. So you just get this lovely open, again, that visualization of the sun shining out of our solar plexus. Exhale, press through the left hand to lower with control. Turn back to the front. Great. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more core and then we'll really cool down for the last parts of the class. So we're going to have a go at the boat. We'll do 3 rounds of the boat, and in the third round I'm going to offer you a obliques twisted version down into the shallow boat and then down to the floor. Okay, so do what you can. If you want, you can use a block. Sometimes it can just really help you connect to the right muscles. I mean, it's hard not to connect to them in the boat, but you know, you could have that adduction added challenge. But if you're not using the block, nevertheless, you're always pressing the inner feet and inner thighs towards each other, so you are still adducting. Okay, so just bend the knees and come onto the toes and reach the hands forward. If you are feeling tired, this could be your boat with the toes on the floor and you're just focusing on squeezing the inner knees against each other, adducting all the block. Otherwise, lean back, take the feet off the floor. This could be your boat. Next stage, bring the feet level with the knees, maybe hold the knee, back of the knees. Last stage, straighten the legs. 5, 4, full breaths. 3, 2, press the big toes together. And 1, release. So in between, you can either just have a little hug if you're feeling very fiery, hands down, inhale, lift the hips down, exhale, lower. not for everyone. Okay, and then we'll go into round number 2. So same as again, same with the toes on the floor, or lean back with the feet up to the knees or straight. 5, 4, 3, lift out to the lower back, draw the shoulders back. 2, lift the chest. And 1. Everybody loves to hate this pose. Hug yourself or hands down. Inhale, lift hips. Exhale, lower. And then last round. Okay, so this is the one where I'm going to add variations. If you're done, lie down. We'll join you in a moment. Otherwise, last round. 5, 4. Just do 3 standard. 3. Now bring the palms together. Inhale. Exhale, take the hands over to the left. For 2, 1. Inhale, hands to the center. Exhale to the right. For 2, 1. Inhale to the center. Exhale, shallow boat. Shoulders and heels off the floor. For 2, 1. Exhale, flopasana. Just collapse onto the floor. And belly breathe. So you might want to take your hands onto your belly. You might want to bend the knees. Just do whatever feels good here, but just really relax the belly. Well done. Now, I'm sure we're feeling the belly. But we're just going to do our last bit of core. I promise this is the last bit of core. Okay, so we're going to, from here, lying on our back, we're going to take the legs up to the ceiling. Now, if you want the easier version, you keep your hands either side of the hips. But if you want the harder version, you take the arms overhead. You could always start with them by the hips, and if it feels quite easy, transition to the harder version. Okay, we're going to start with single leg lowers, which is another easier option, and you can keep going with single, or we'll transition to 2 legs at some point. Okay, so I'm going to inhale here, exhale, lower the right heel so it's just above the floor. Inhale it back up to meet left. Exhale, lower left, heel hovers above the floor. Inhale right. Just repeat that. Exhale right. You may be taking your arms overhead, but this is super easy. Inhale. Exhale left. So if this is enough, just keep going, single leg lowering. Otherwise, we're going to do 10 double leg lowers. So exhale both legs, inhale up, arms overhead if it's easy. Exhale down, inhale up. 3, exhale down, inhale up. 4, exhale down, inhale up. 5, exhale. Inhale vertical. 6, exhale. Inhale up. 7, exhale. Inhale up. 8, exhale. Starting to feel it now. Inhale up. Exhale 9. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale 10. Inhale up. And then bend the knees, release the feet to the floor. You'll probably have felt that in the lower back as well. The lower back and the belly area work together in this way. So just breathing into the belly, maybe resting the hands on the belly, breathing into the lower back. Okay, so from here, we're going to extend the left leg down the mat and just hug the right knee in. We're just going to cool down now. Cooling the fire, quenching the fire. So slow the breath right down. And we're going to work with twists, but in a gentle fire quenching way. So from here, just use your left hand to draw the right knee across the body over to the left. Right hand can extend out in line with the shoulder. You can rest your right foot on your left leg, or if it comes to the floor, great, or use a bolster or block or something underneath the foot or knee. And just pause, look over your right shoulder if that feels good, and just take belly breaths here. Cooling belly breaths. Really slow the breath down and make sure the belly stays relaxed. And then inhale, coming up. Centrally align, extend the right knee, leg out, draw the left knee into the chest, give it a hug. Very different quality to the practice now, really relaxing, and then use your right hand to draw the left knee across the body over to the right, rolling with it. So your right leg just rolls with it. Use the support underneath that left foot or knee or shin if you need. Look over your left shoulder. Breathe, relax the belly. Breathe into the belly. And then slowly rolling back to the center. Take your yoga block or brick on the lowest setting. Lift the hips, slide the brick underneath the sacrum. So we're doing like the gentlest front body open here. Extend the legs. If that really doesn't feel good, you can keep the knees bent. But if we really want to feel this opening on the belly and the hips and thighs, then we straighten the legs. But we've really got the block on the lowest setting. And we're just going to take about 5 breaths or so to just get this passive opening. Less is more. That ever so gentle elevation of the hips is enough. And just focus on slow, deep breaths and feeling the spaciousness in the front body. We've really worked with our belly. We've compressed it and massaged it internally with those twists and that core work. And now we're just creating space in that area, just really allowing all the organs to settle in their natural place. So allow this area, now it's been totally replenished with blood and prana, to just start to relax and integrate all of that work. And just take one more deep breath here. And opening the belly with the breath. And then bring your feet in, bend the knees, lift the hips, remove the block. The feet mat distance apart and let the inner knees rest against each other. And then we're just going to exhale the knees over to the right, keeping the feet mat distance apart. Inhale to the center, exhale to the left, windscreen wiper legs. Inhale to the center. This time as we exhale to the right, we're going to stay. Just let the right knee flop all the way out to the right and just press the inner left knee down actively into the floor for a moment. And then relax the left leg, effort, and if either stay here or pick up the right foot, rest it on the outer left thigh above the knee for an extra stretch into that outer left hip. Really relaxing the belly. Notice it's in a stretched position here. So again, we're creating space in the belly. So we use the breath to kind of make the most of that shape. Opening the belly with the breath. Cooling the fire. We have to learn to work with this fire energy intelligently and wisely, knowing when to whip it up and or how to cool it back down again, so we can tame the fire, use the fire, harness the fire wisely. Release the right foot back to the mat, make sure the feet are mat distance apart still. Inhale back to the center, exhale, come out to the left, and again, just let the left knee drop all the way out. Actively press the inner right thigh down for a moment. So we get that active stretching. Then release the effort in the right leg. Stay here or pick up the left foot. Hook it and rest it on the outer right thigh just above the knee. That extra stretch. And again, take your awareness to your belly. Deep belly breaths here. And then at the end of your next exhale, release the left foot if it was hooked. Come back to the center, press through the feet to centrally align through the pelvis and spine and head and neck. And come to happy baby. This is going to be our inversion this evening, a cooling, kind of restorative inversion, holding the little toe edges of the feet, all the ankles, all the backs of the knees, even flopping the heels down if you need, but keep the knees towards the armpits nice and wide. And just really slowing the breath down. Just really, we need to learn to balance the yin and the yang energies within us, the fire and the water. complementary energies. And moving more into that yin energy, cooling water. The elements of water and earth, the more yang elements of fire and air, with much more movement, unpredictable movement. So we earth it and we cool it, the earth and the water. And just bring the soles of the feet together, keeping the knees wide, hold the outer edges of the feet, or the ankles, or again the shins, but try to keep the big toes touching, heels to the groin, Supta Baddha Konasana. And breathe. And then maybe just to finish, bring the knees together and hug the knees in. So we just make this nice closed little shape. We're still in this kind of gentle inversion practice. Just breathing, resting the hands on the front of the shins or the backs of the knees. Just taking these slow, deep yin breaths, cooling the fire, relaxing the jaw and the face. And we're ready for Shavasana. I'm just going to invite you to do 5 rounds of Shitali breath on our backs, if you wish. So to do this, you could come straight to Shavasana legs, or you could bring the feet, soles of the feet together, knees wide on the floor now. This is an invitation or Shavasana. And for Shitali breath, if you can roll your tongue, but if you can't, you touch the tip of your tongue to the back of your teeth, and you just breathe in through the nose. When you breathe out through the mouth, through that gap that you're creating with the rolled tongue, or just touching the tongue to the tip of the teeth. Don't worry if you don't, I'm not teaching it fully, we're not sitting it up, but just do the best you can. It should feel like a cooling feeling. Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight. It's very hot here. We're breathing in, with the tongue rolled or the tongue touching the back of the teeth. Sorry, it's an inhale that creates the cooling effect. So explore that, breathing in through the rolled tongue or the tongue touching the back of the teeth, breathing out, just releasing the tongue, breathing out through mouth or nose. Just do a couple more. Last one. Shitali breath, it means the cooling breath. And then release the breath practice, come to Shavasana, make sure you're centrally aligned, utterly let go into stillness, into heaviness, that earth energy, denseness. I'm aware this is a relatively short Shavasana for quite a fiery class, so please take longer if your body would like longer and you have time. If you'd like to close with me at the end of the class, just when you're ready, just start to bring movement back, small at first, and taking any stretches. And just slowly, gradually return to seated. If your body feels ready, really honour it's just needing a bit more stillness. Take it. And so, those closing with me, just come to seated. Maybe just take a moment of gratitude, bringing the hands to Manipura and heart chakra. And just connecting with your power center, your heart center, your sense of unique expression in the world. And just for a moment, just tuning in and feeling your just deep, deep reserves of power and strength come from your inner fire. We're stronger than we know often. And then when you feel complete, just open the eyes again. Thank you for sharing practice with me this evening. Namaste, well done. You got through the fiery practice. Hope you feel cool. And I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.